Heyo, and welcome to the Industry Idiots podcast. Small update, all our episodes now come out immediately everywhere. You can still support us on our Patreon and gain access to our Discord. And you can ask design questions there and suggest topics and just hang out and chat with us. And we've also pruned all the Patreon tiers to one $3 tier. So no more Patreon intro, no more exclusive episodes. And instead, we just use Patreon as a tool for you guys to have a place to support us and where it's not too expensive. And to celebrate that rework of our support structure, you can now today listen to the two Patreon specials that we have already released, which were Sven and me talking about our nostalgia games, you know, the games that defined us throughout our lives. So please take a trip down memory lane with us, time machine style, and look at some of the most amazing games ever. Other than that, as always, bye and enjoy this episode. Hi, this is today's episode.
Whoa, today? I'm so put off by this intro.
Hello, Patreon peeps, which currently is just Sven and me and Kalle. Hi, Kalle. Nice of you to listen in.
Hi, Kalle. This is a special episode just for you.
Just for you. People in the future will be like, yeah, all these thousands of other patrons, and I'm here listening to the first Patreon episode only one person listened to.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. All right.
And including us, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Because we are also our own patrons. This is how you do it.
That's how it should be done, of course. We have to test all the systems and giving out the invites and everything. Okay, welcome. Sven, hi. Nice to see you. You look beautiful, handsome. The beard is trimmed. The hairs are styled, even though it's Corona time. Awesome.
The beard is even not trimmed, but thanks for the compliment anyways. You look amazing too.
Thanks.
Just with the bob cut and everything.
My buzz cut with the fucking kiwi head. Oh, man. Yeah. I was just about to tell Sven about how much I like today's Call of Duty update, because they patched in Ground War Infected Large. And essentially what's happening is that you're on this huge, whoever has played Call of Duty, Sven, you're on this huge fucking map, okay? Not the container map, but the one with the ships and the big, I don't know, warehouses. And it has these cranes, right? That's in a Warzone map, it's bottom right.
Yeah.
And you can climb on the cranes and no one can come up there. They have to take the ladder. And there's only this one ladder. And what they have to try is throw like throwing knives 200 meters over the entire map to get you. And it's just amazing. But there is something new. They can pop parachutes. Every once in a while, I think every 30 seconds or 1 minute, some of the infected are suicided automatically. Ooh. And then they spawn in the air and they parachute down.
Like how many are parachuting down?
It's like, I think it's a percentage of the ones being infected. And since it's a 64-player lobby, that can be a lot of infected
zombies raining from the sky.
But it's so much fun, dude. So much fun. Still, the nuke hunt continues. Still no nuke.
Yeah, get better.
Get good.
Not good enough.
Okay, so Sven, maybe you wanna tell the people what we promised this topic or this episode is about.
Of course. So actually, what we want to do is talk about our honorary mentions. The games that didn't make the list last time in our 300 listeners special episode with dear Robbie, who joined us for a couple of hours talking about our most favorite games.
I miss Robbie. He's so sweet.
Yeah, we just randomly call him now and also get him in this episode. He has no choice. And then talk with us about the random honorary episodes, honorary games.
That would be great. But so he's already asleep. It's 10:30 at night here, and Africa is the same time right now. Yeah, so it's also 10:30 there. But Robert always goes to bed at 10.
If he gets up early, sure, why not?
Yeah, he's an artist. He likes to draw in the morning.
Fair enough. Can't say anything against it.
True.
Also, we both have like 30 or 40 leftover honorary mentions on our list. So having a third guy in here to talk about all the games you could think of that like impacted you in any way.
Yeah.
That would be like, then we would be sitting here for 6 hours and yeah.
We currently
no one
have
is going to listen to it.
Yeah, probably not. We currently have no rules in place because our usual podcast rules for the normal episodes are always above 60 minutes. That's our rule. And so people can have consistency when they want to hear the industry idiots. And now we're talking to the fellow idiots, right? Because all patrons are also idiots. Welcome. Thank you for being an idiot with us. Sven is doing dabbing and peace things, and you can't see because it's audio only. But once we reach that funding goal, we're going to have video as well.
Then you can see me dabbing in all its glory and cringe as hard as Sam just cringed.
Okay, we lost we lost all future patrons, but the good thing is they can't hear this because it's for patrons only. Oh my god.
And it's only us. And
Kalle immediately is unsubscribing. Easy. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. It's just we're just gonna. These are not chronologically sorted or sorted by favoriteness or anything. These are just there because we love those games, and unfortunately, for some reason, they didn't make the list. But that doesn't mean we love them less. So, Sven, hit me.
Exactly.
And if you, I mean, we're not gonna do the guessing thing, but if it's a game that can be easily, or if you think of something cool, you can let me guess. I'm down for that.
Yeah. I think I have a good one at first.
Okay, let's hear it.
Which has not made the list. I'm just dropping continuous hints, and you just say at what point you guess which game it is.
Star Wars.
So, no. Okay. There are a bunch of Star Wars games I cut out.
God. I can hear the idiot's eye roll to my place where I am right now. And this was I butchered that sentence.
But it's not all the Star Wars games. There are a couple of bad ones too, I have to admit.
Okay.
But the majority in my mind.
The original Game Boy Advance game was great for Star Wars.
That one I haven't played actually. What is it about?
Star Wars stuff. You play Anakin and lightsaber children.
Of course.
I think you actually do. It was a cool game.
Lightsabering children, that's very safe for work. It's good stuff to get your game index somewhere.
Well, back in the day, I mean, that was just the height of Star Wars. Okay, so what's the game? Drop hints for me.
So you control a singular character. You are driving around, but not in a classic way.
Taxi driver.
No, not driving a car. You're driving something else, or you are. Let's say it's a sport vehicle. What's the term for it? If I say a
race car.
No, not a race car. Something that's not motorized. It's more like a sports gear-ish thing, and the game has
Tony Hawk.
Exactly. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. They both kind of go in the same from the same direction.
I have them in my list as well. They're amazing.
Such a fantastic game. I mean, the soundtrack with when you start at the school and then the bell rings and the rock stuff and the hip hop stuff is being played, and it's so satisfying to combine all the stupid combos next to each other. And the third game got so ridiculous with its settings and what you could discover in all the levels. It was so cool. Very fun memories.
Especially with what I loved most about those games is that there was always stuff hidden in the levels for sure. And even if it's extremely hard to find, it just makes the replayability of when you haven't found it yet so much more satisfying. Oh man!
I think you even had to discover all the all the sub-objectives, all the unlockables to get the 100% out of the level. And you had some kind of progression where you could build up your skater in all the different skill areas and stuff. And I remember there was this one level, this was suburban area or something, where your quest was to smash 8 pumpkins, and it was this Halloween theme level, and these fucking pumpkins were hidden in so ridiculous places. I was so lost as a child playing this. I was so frustrated by this one quest.
I love those games. My brother and me, we still play them once a month. I have them all on my laptop in an emulator setup with 2 controllers, and we play them at least once a month. And it's always a battle to the death.
Did the game have split screen?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I never played it in multiplayer. It's just.
Or am I confusing the Tony Hawks? I mean Underground, right?
That was also in the series.
But Pro Skater is.
Not sure if the earlier ones.
Well, it was for PlayStation 2. We always play 2. We play 2 games. We play Underground 2, I think, or something, and I want to say Pro Skater, but I might be wrong. It's 2 Tony Hawks that we play once a month, and it's just, and all the other games that you will hear now that are also in the list. PlayStation 2 mostly.
You'll probably have a lot of co-op games with your brother in there. Like at least 70% of the list is going to be games like that.
So let's say local multiplayer. I don't really like co-op. We always play against each other. That's what we enjoy the most.
Okay, fair enough. Then hit me with your first honorary mention.
Okay, I'm not gonna talk a lot about Metal Slug because we already talked about it in the episode because it was on Robert's list and it's of course in my honorary mentions. I love the third part, so I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna skip the Stanley Parable because we just released a free episode talking almost exclusively about Stanley Parable.
Yes.
Let's see what's in here. I'm just gonna skip Tony Hawk, of course, because he just talked about it. And okay, it's a German game. It's super old. It's made of watercolors. And
with
you
watercolors.
build a car in a garage.
Oh, fuck. I know exactly what it is. I'm just trying to remember the name. I know exactly which game you mean. You assemble the fucking cars.
Yeah.
Willy Werkel, building cars with Willy Werkel.
Exactly. That's the title. I don't know if the game exists outside of Germany, so I'm just going to tell for all the listeners internationally, I'm going to say the German title and you can try to Google it. Literally translation would be building cars with Willy Werkel, or the German one would be Autos bauen mit Willy Werkel. So building cars with Willy Werkel. I think it was a learning children's game or whatever.
Yeah, it was some kind of serious game.
Yeah, it was from Terzio. Terzio makes not really serious games, but Terzio makes light-hearted children's games. It's not a serious game because it doesn't deal with serious topics, but it is a...
Okay, let's say educational game then. A little bit.
It's like a children's book. It's a children's game. And you have this one garage that you start in, and this 2D drawn water painted hand drain for whatever character. And you have a scrapyard. And once a day on the scrapyard, there are new car parts. And what you do is you plaster these car parts together however you see fit. It's like I don't know, the chassis of a taxi together with some bicycle's wheel and some a spaceship back part or whatever, and then you just plaster them together in 2D and you press leave garage, and then you can drive around in a top-down view through this beautifully illustrated hand-drawn map. And from time to time there's obstacles and you try to explore the whole map, but your fuel is not enough or there's an obstacle in the way and you need specific car parts to overcome those obstacles. So it's just
it's a Metroidvania.
It
never thought of it in a way.
It essentially is a Metroidvania. Please Google the game; it's lovely.
I think the best way to describe the game, because there's a similar modern game where you assemble stuff. Is, have you heard of Besiege or Besiege? Where you have to assemble your siege weapons
crazy
and then use
game,
them
right?
to crazy physics game, and you can assemble your catapult, ram, hybrid something. And it also works in a similar fashion where you can assemble the wheel parts at some areas and stuff like that. And it's such a great pick. It's not even on my list, but I played it so much and got so frustrated because the fucking roadblocks everywhere.
That you always needed specific different car parts. Oh my god! Just Google it to see the lovely images. Really, I mean, you don't have to play it. It's probably not available anywhere and doesn't run on any machines anymore. It's just beautiful. All right. Yeah, that was one of my honorary mentions for sure. No one knows, of course, but I'm glad you know. Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
Very fun memories of it too. That's probably heard from my excitement in my voice as well.
Yeah. Okay, your turn, man.
The next one is also a very old game. It's based on the most successful, let's say, assembling and building product ever, which is
Lego. Yeah.
Yes. And it's Lego Racer. Lego Racer 1 and 2.
What?
Lego Racer was such an addictive and great racing game. I can't believe it's basically like Mario Kart, but with a more focused, let's say not story, but you had some kind of progression. You had all these different Lego universes, like the one where you're drilling below Mars, then the pirates, then the Egyptian setting, a space setting, and there was this one villain I hated. His name was Rocket Racer. He was like the fastest and stuff. He was also like the final boss, and you had to, over the course of the game, you had to like overcome like 6 to 7 bosses with their specific setting, win the races against them and stuff. And the game was so satisfying because it has like this Lego power-ups. You could drive over and then you could shoot people. You could like similarly to Mario Kart drop a banana or like get like this lightning speed power-up where you can overtake basically the whole field. And it was just so satisfying in the first part. And the second part was like an open world racer game. And that was mind-blowing to me because the tracks were scattered all around this island, and there was also like stuff hidden throughout the island where this was happening, and it's just such a great game. And I think the second part is still playable today. So I'm challenging you to a duel at some point. Bless you. Almost died there. Oh, another one.
I guess I have to cut that out. Or not.
Or leave it in, because Patreon is, of course, all natural.
Patreon, you're paying for the unedited cut. Exactly.
Paying for Sam coughing into your head.
Sneezing. But yeah, maybe you won't hear it.
Sneezing, yeah.
Maybe it will be cut out. We'll see. I want to Google the Lego Racer game real quick just to have an image.
Do it. Lego Racers. It's called.
Yeah, Lego Racers, I see. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to have like a visual in front of my mind.
Did you just Google Lego Racers or Lego Racers game? Because when you just Google Lego Racers, it's more...
No, it came up.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, it was so good.
Okay, next
your
game.
Next one.
Where did the other one go? Why is it so... Okay, next one is... It's also something with racing.
Ooh.
Has cars.
No. Racing in cars.
And has tuning.
All right. Can you get a little bit more specific?
Dude, everyone who's listening will already immediately say Need for Speed.
Yeah, okay, then it's Need for Speed Most Wanted, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
The most famous one, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
great one.
I don't know if it's the most famous. Is it? Maybe. It's fantastic. I think many people love Underground too, but I never liked Underground 2. I'm a big Most Wanted kind of guy.
Yeah, and Underground 2 and Most Wanted were definitely the most favorite ones. Maybe a little bit Carbon after that, but then the series went kind of downhill-ish because they got, I don't know, away from the street racing.
Yeah, I don't know why. They got away from the open world, which was the most fun, right? Having an open world to drive through with your mates and then like scheduling races, showing off your cars.
But at some point they got back to it, I think, with one of the most recent ones, Rivals, I think, where you could play as the cops and the racers, which is a cool idea, though.
I wonder why. Are these games successful, or are they just out of my bubble?
They are heavily out of your bubble, because you never mentioned them to me, but they are still pretty successful, I'd say, because like, if you look at Gamescom and stuff, they have huge booths still.
Okay. Yeah, because I loved Most Wanted. I always have this crave in the back of my mind that I want. I think I satisfied that itch when we were playing GTA for a little while online. Because GTA Online is essentially that. You can tune your cars and make missions and everything. Yeah.
I think the series got a little bit too try-hard, a little bit too edgy and neon, and everyone has fancy hairstyles and way too stylish. And I think Most Wanted was this more grounded stylish, more like leather jacket badass stylish, and not this over-the-top neon dubstep stylish, which they're now going for.
Yeah, so. It's not the Tokyo tuning. It was the Western or American tuning seen in Most Wanted, yeah, for sure. All right, let's hear it, Sven.
Next one is one of the most influential strategy games in terms of, let's say, mod creation and genres stemming
Warcraft.
From the game. Exactly, Warcraft 3 and Frozen Throne. Oh, so many games on LAN parties and these custom maps and like
tower defense all day, dude.
Endless possibilities with the level editor and the scripting they allowed people to do Dota stem from it. Tower defense stem from it. Then there's these single-player role-playing situations with the Rexar campaign and all these weird other Easter egg levels where you control sheep and have to click on them and they explode and stuff. It's crazy. And then the good story as well in the single-player campaign. The competitive multiplayer, I think this game did nothing wrong. So good.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game.
And the cinematics.
Yeah, I'm sad. Why is there no Warcraft 4?
Well, there was World of Warcraft and that completely filled the whole
True.
Warcraft space, I guess.
But it's something different. I mean, it's a top-down whatever. I'm strategy RPG kind of thing, so maybe they'll go back to it if they don't ruin it with microtransactions or mobile ports or whatever.
There was an attempt to go back to it with Warcraft 3 Reforged this beginning of the year, but I guess they'd better not make a Warcraft 4 if it's anything like that.
Let's not talk about it. I mean, Activision is still able to put out great games. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the new one, is fantastic.
Yes.
I honestly, guys, I was someone who hated Call of Duty after Modern Warfare 2. I loved Modern Warfare 2 to death and 1, and then hated every part after. Bought like the next 3 ones and then never touched the game again. But now with the new one, they have somehow managed to capture that old magic and glory and turn it up to 1000, but still it's amazing. It's just a great game.
So everything is so satisfying in the game from the sounds.
Yeah, feedback, visual feedback, player everything, progression, everything's super satisfying.
Except the Akimbo pistol they have right now going on.
It means the Renetti.
Yeah, the
Renetti Forgetti.
Forgetti.
No way, dude.
Sometimes that stuff happens. This reminds me a lot of the G18 fiasco in Modern Warfare 2, which was also like the most overpowered akimbo situation, an imbalanced weapon I have ever seen in a multiplayer game. To the point, I was able to make or collect a nuke with a G18 akimbo. It was so insane, and to a similar fashion, maybe you should go for your 13 kill nuke run with a Firenze. How's it called? I'll forget again the same weapon. Like
Renetti?
Renetti, that was one. It's so Italian. The Renetti, maybe you should go for your nuke kill streak with that akimbo weapon, and then you can do it easily.
I remember my Modern Warfare nukes. I had 3 as a kid. I mean, that was super hard to do as a kid. I had 3 nukes that I remember. I mean, I probably had more, but the 3 I remember. One was with an AK, no attachments on it. The second one was with a quick scope intervention, running around the map quick scoping, and the last one was with the double shotgun, with the akimbo shotgun, and that short period where they were extremely OP and could one shot over the entire map.
Oh, the sort of ones.
Yeah. No. The ones the old school Western ones that you reload.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. I'm not sure if they were sort of, but yeah, that's what I also had in mind.
Fucking crazy.
Good that we transition to Modern Warfare 2 because it's also on my list, and I guess it's also on your list then.
Yeah.
So we get right that off the bat. Such a fantastic game as well.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I don't think we need to go into detail. Right? I mean, we
just one last anecdote.
Okay.
I'm just saying Commando and Ninja, and then everything is said about that perk combination.
I missed that. Why is there no Commando in the new one? There's no snapping with the knife. It's still one-shots, but there's no snapping.
It was so satisfying as well. And there were people doing the nuke just with a knife and Commando Ninja.
Yeah, and it wasn't broken. I wonder why they got rid of it. Maybe it's broken with sliding.
Yeah, probably.
Because the new player controller for the new Call of Duty says, of course, sliding, angle peaking. You can tactical sprint, which is a double the speed or 30% more speed sprint, but it's only up for like 2 seconds. So Sven is grinning. No. What did you grin about? Did you Google something about the game?
No, I just checked my list and crossed off games we already talked about and had to grin that, of course, we had so many similar games so far, which we both know and loved. So I'm just hyped about what is coming next.
Okay, then I'm gonna drop the next game on you, which is a Game Boy Color game from 2000. And it has many beloved characters in it. Hand
Is it
drawn.
Pokemon?
No.
Hand drawn. Okay. Hand drawn.
One is an alien from Mars.
Oh, is it the Looney Tunes game?
Yeah.
You mentioned before? Yeah.
I mentioned it when we made the list, I think, because we thought we wouldn't include the honorary mentions. It's the Looney Tunes Marvin Strikes Back. There's like 3 titles, but this is, if you Google this, Looney Tunes Marvin Strikes Back, you're gonna find it. It was so cool because you top-down world, beautiful graphics, really beautiful for a Game Boy Color game. Probably the best I've seen. And you play all the characters, like the little bird, and it's a Metroidvania because the areas you can only reach when you've unlocked a new character that can reach that area. So you're constantly character swapping to reach all the areas and use all the right skills. The bird could fly. Bugs Bunny could, I don't know, shoot. Could he shoot? I don't remember. It was just the witch could fly for a long time because the bird has only small wings, so it could only fly for a short time. That kind of stuff. Very cool game. And I'm still traumatized from all the boss games, and I still hear the boss fight music in my boss fights, and I still hear the boss fight music in my head.
I still, I 100% remember that I played this game, but I have like no visual memory of it, except that you could collect carrots in the game or something like that.
Yeah,
that's my most pregnant. What was the use of the carrots? But I know that I spent at least 2 playthroughs on the Game Boy Color back in the day. But somehow all the images vanished.
Maybe we should do a playthrough of some of these games on our YouTube channel.
Sure, why not? A dual commentary? I'd be up for it.
Yeah, dual commentary. Always play, like, swap who's playing. Or I play the games Sven likes and Sven plays the games I like. I don't know.
I like that. A let's try series. Not a full playthrough, because not gonna...
No, yeah. Just a little bit, like the 1, 2, 3 minutes of hitting the game.
Yeah, let's do it. I like that.
That would be cool. All right. Your turn.
Your turn. Oh, wait. Let me grab my list. I'm not trying to go from top to bottom, because just picking something that fits right now, maybe a little bit. Okay, speaking of old Game Boy Color games, there is an adaptation that was made for a young adult movie, but the PC adaptation and the Game Boy adaptation were completely different, but they used the same game cover. So me thinking I could play the same game on the Game Boy Color that I could play on the PC, and I loved on the PC, also bought it for Game Boy Color, but it was a completely different game, but still an amazing game. So,
oh, dude, I have no idea.
It's the game for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and it had an RPG-like Game Boy Color game with character and skill progression and skill points and attack points, health stuff where you could like drink the potions or get stronger by drinking potions, and it was like heavily combat focused with your spells and stuff and exploration.
I remember the game. My ex-girlfriend back in the day, she played it a lot. Oh, damn. That's like a throwback. That's like 10 years ago. Oof.
That was 2001, I think, so 19 years ago.
Ooh.
19. I was 6 years old then.
Okay, but I played the game later. I played the game when I was already a teenager, when I was picking up the Game Boy from my ex-girlfriend. Crazy.
Oh yeah, heavy nostalgia vibes with that one. And it also had like sequels on, like the second one on PC and the second one on Game Boy Color. Both were excellent games. The ones on PC, which should also probably be on the list because I played them a lot, are more like action adventures, like third person, where you had to draw the spells, like the symbols of the spells with your mouse on the screen. So to learn the spell, that was a very iconic scene. And the way Hogwarts was like built up and structured, you could like discover stuff around every corner, and there was like this little jelly beans-ish things you could collect, and then it was just fantastic, like open world in this closed space. It was such a cool game back in the day.
Maybe that's what we We always, when we talk about games and we really go deep into the nostalgic and what games we love, it's always these old gems, 2D, beautiful, crazy music that sticks with you, beautiful graphics, simple but fluid mechanics. Maybe that's a game that we should do in the future. When we are settled
like develop or play.
Yeah. When we are settled into AAA somewhere and we have like the work day ends at the end of the workday and we go home and you can develop there a little game like this. And because it has such a like there's not many crazy systems you have to do and they're all mechanically not as challenging as modern games are. And I think you can, if you fill it with content, a lot of content, I think you can definitely, I mean, I'm not talking quality level Hollow Knight, right? I'm talking building. I think a good example would be what is this farming game that everyone
Stardew
loved?
Valley.
Yes, something like this. It was also developed by one person.
Oh, that gets like super deep with all the systems polished. He developed it for 8 years or something up until now.
That's what I mean. Having like a pet, a lovely project that you like that's going on in the background with one or maybe two friends closely develop over a couple of years on and off. That would be cool. You can see that happening.
I'd be down for it.
Well, we'll brainstorm in the future.
Sure. Or do a brainstorming podcast episode at some point.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. That would be cool. No, then someone's got to make our game before we can make it.
No, then when you already put the brainstorming session out there, is that then already like if somebody does it, is then already copyright infringement?
Yeah, of course. In Germany, at least. I don't know how it is in the States, but once an idea is like, you don't need anything written in Germany to have copyright on what you've said. If you talk, intellectual property, yeah.
Cool. What's the next game on your list?
Let's see.
Something you kicked out of the top 10. How dare you?
No. Yeah, it was. I kicked it out because a part of the game was already. A later iteration that was a standalone DLC was in the top 10.
Not sure if we're talking about Witcher Blood and Wine or if we're talking about a Souls game.
Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare was in the top 10, and so the prequel Red Dead Revolver for the PS2, it's, in my opinion, and I don't know why they don't have it in the new games, the coolest fucking game to play on one console with your friends. You could play with two people or with 4 people. And your 4-way split screen in these little maps, and you have the character roster is fucking 80 people. 80 different fucking cowboy shooters. And they all have special ultimates or abilities that when you kill someone, they drop a poker card and blah, blah, blah. And when you collect yellow poker cards, you can use a special ability. And the classic famous Deadeye, right? The main character has that. But there's a million different ones. Diego has his rifle has like a firework coming out and you shoot. And wherever you shoot, there's bombardements raining down. And all the characters have their own special ability. And it's fucking amazing. I would still play it today with my brother when we have these local fighting game sessions where we play these games. We still play it on the emulator.
Okay, first comment, how in hell did the PS3 manage to render Red Dead 4 times on the same screen?
PS2.
And PS2, what?
Yeah.
Was it on PS2? Oh, yeah. Insane.
Yeah, Red Dead Revolver.
Second comment is, I always thought it was like a single-player expansion. You make it sound like it was primarily like a multiplayer experience for you.
Well, yeah, it was because it is a single player. It's 50-50. Because the characters, you have to unlock them through playing this campaign. And to unlock 80 characters, of course, you have to play the entire campaign. And it's a long campaign, and it's a good one. But at some point, we just downloaded a save game. So we could play multiplayer. We definitely have like...
a little shortcut.
We have like 500 hours clocked in multiplayer for sure. So it's really good.
Was it a thing in the same year where there was Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare? It was 2009 or 10. There was Alan Wake, American Nightmare, and I always confused those two.
But they were both PS3, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right.
Your turn. Your turn.
Let me pick a next one. Should I pick
Beep, beep,
something with nostalgia or something more recent? You choose.
I want something more recent. We heavily nostalgia bombed everyone.
That's true. Okay, then let me. It's a very recent one. I played it on Christmas about 4 or 5 months ago. It's a game from last year. And it's set in France during La Plague. Where
a Plague Tale.
A Plague Tale, yes. And in a way, it reminded me of how The Last of Us plays as a game and the story, how it is told. So it's kind of like a medieval Last of Us from like a journey perspective. But like getting immersed in this, yeah, you would probably like it too because you're also a sucker for this dark, gothic, medieval style world. And they really amped it up with all the red stuff and also got some supernatural elements in there, which I didn't expect when I played it. So that was like a super cool gaming experience last year, one of the best story games last year. And definitely could have been in a top 10, but was like last year in my, let's say, personal top 5, very high up. Maybe the second or third best game last year. So that's why it's on my honorary mentions. Yes.
Whoa. Those are some high numbers.
Yes, it's such a beautiful game. It's like visually very stunning, very sympathetic main characters, very likable children. It's a little bit like how the movie's called by, like has a similar vibe to like Stranger Things has and It has, with a club of nerds, like a teenager children group who are like all misfits and don't have a place in the world and fight against.
In a medieval game.
Yeah, it has primarily a teenage protagonist, and it's very, very cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We're already at 36 minutes, and we're not even halfway through.
Maybe it's gonna be a two-parter.
Maybe it's gonna be a two-parter. Is that? I don't know. We still need to figure out the ruling on how we're gonna do this with the Patreon episodes. Are they going to be as long as whatever is needed to talk about the topic, or can they be two-parters? We have to see that. If there would be more patrons, you could tell us your opinion. But you know.
But Kalle, how would you like it on a silver plate?
Kalle, exactly. We're gonna make a poll later. You can do Patreon exclusive polls, I think. Then every patron gets a message of, "Hey, please answer this poll." And it's like, do you want this episode?
And then there will be one vote from you, one vote from me, and the deciding vote from Kalle. Yep. Early beginnings for our Patreon.
Yeah, but it's part of the fun, part of the journey. Natural growth. That's what Sven always says. So
that's what you always say.
That's what we both always say.
This makes it sound like we have some ulterior goal with this.
But we don't. We just want to have fun and also not die from starvation. That's the 2 points.
Fair point. Good argument right there. Can't question that. Okay, next game, please. Hit me.
It's based on a popular cartoon series. And there's a clown, and there's a baby, and there's someone who has very spiky hair and is an asshole with a skateboard. And the skin color is yellow.
Fuck, I'm completely lost.
It's the Simpsons hit and run game.
Oh, fucking hell. That's the last game I expected on it. Oh, it's a good pick.
That's such a fantastic game. In my opinion, it was on the PS2. It was what GTA should have been. It's so amazing. I can't even. Or maybe GTA San Andreas should have been in my list, but whatever.
It's safe for work GTA in a way.
Yeah, it's so funny and ridiculous, and you fucking jet around in your pink car. And it's just crazy. It's not really safe for work. There's these hobos burning tires, these rednecks. And oh my God, it's just a crazy game. I can't even formulate a premise because it's so crazy. Play the game, it's cool.
Yeah, they should do a remaster.
Oh yeah, they should. I think they are doing a remaster right now. THQ probably. THQ is also releasing Destroy All Humans soon, a remaster. And and that is, in my opinion, very close to how this feels. You know, Simpsons Hit and Run has the same humoristic lightheartedness than that game. So
nice.
Okay.
If I still had a running PlayStation 2, I'd love to check it out. Was it even for PlayStation 2 or was it PlayStation 1?
PlayStation 2, and
PlayStation
I
2,
also
okay.
have it on my emulator.
Well, I know what I'm gonna do when I'm visiting you next time.
Yes, we play all those games.
Play on your fucking Index and of course Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh yeah, I've ordered an Index, guys, and it's coming in 3 days. Today I got the shipping note. Oh,
Hype.
my
Finger
god.
controllers.
Finger controllers and a fucking glasses that has no artifacts and is not, I don't know, 420p or something. Can't wait.
Yes.
Okay, your game. Next game.
Next game. It's an indie title from Poland. And it's not The Witcher.
It's an indie title.
The Witcher 1 is a kind of indie title.
To be fair, The Witcher 3 also. Right?
Yeah, they are self-publishing. Yeah, they are the...
So they're an indie. They're independent.
Yes, fair enough. So it's fitting. But it's like... it has a setting which is now another Polish studio developing for in that scenario, which will come out in September under the name of Cyberpunk 2077. And it was like 3 years prior. And it's let's say, a Cyberpunk Diablo in a way, on steroids, and it's called Ruina. And Ruina is such a cool game. Everything is so stylized, and
I should have known.
You should have known. I texted you a lot about the game, and I think you already played it yourself as well.
The game is a huge inspiration for our studio's game. So
for the Rave Cave Carnage.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Damn.
But the soundtrack, it's like the drumming beats that keep you going in high intensity when you slaughter all these hacker chip slave guys who are out of their mind, and then it's so cool and stylized, and everything fits so well together and looks visually nice. I just had a very great time playing it.
It's an amazing color palette. It feels, even though Sin City is clearly black and white and red, this game feels like Sin City's tonal construction, because the heavy amounts of red everywhere and everything else is like, I don't know, contrast removed, and it's just amazing. It's just color. Google the name Ruiner and you'll immediately see it in Google Images, the color palette. It's really sick.
Definitely also some, let's say, Total Recall and Blade Runner vibes in there. But sure. I mean, what cyberpunk or sci-fi setting is not inspired by Blade Runner or Total Recall?
Yeah.
So, yeah, fantastic game.
Which makes me think why there wasn't a Blade Runner game ever. But I guess Cyberpunk, the new Cyberpunk.
There was a fantastic Blade Runner game for PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay.
But it's like super, super niche, but it's super beloved in America. I think it's non-existent in pop culture in Europe. No one knows it except maybe the Brits. But I think there are a lot of Kotaku and PC Gamer and Polygon articles about the lost version of Blade Runner, and then there was this remaster in 2001 of a mid-90s game, and there's a very weird cult about the game going on, so we should check that out at some point.
Okay. Sounds good. What is the next one?
Pick a recent one. Go.
A recent one?
And you'll be like, what are recent ones? I only have games pre-2015 in my list.
Yes. I do not have a recent one.
Isn't Dark Souls 3 from 2016?
Dude, never mind. Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare was not in my top 10. But it is here. It is in my honorary mentions.
Didn't you say that right now?
No, I said earlier that it's in the top 10 list when we talked about Red Dead Revolver. But Undead Nightmare wasn't even in my top 10. But it's amazing. But okay.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Okay.
But I don't have a game that's recent in my honorary mentions, actually. I mean, the most recent one is from 2012. Okay, that's the most recent one.
How can you not have like Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 in there?
Well, I have Dark Souls 1 already in my top 10. People know I love Souls-likes. I don't need to honorary mention Bloodborne.
Fair enough.
Okay, 2012. It's a roguelike. It has old school as fuck graphics. Turn-based. Grid-based. RPG. Made by one person, I think. I'm not sure.
Binding of Isaac?
No. It's not.
No.
It's turn-based.
Oh, yeah, I never played Binding of Isaac. So I don't know.
Oh my god, dude! You have to play Binding of Isaac. Okay, but the game is Tales of Marial. That you.
Come on. I never would have guessed that.
I love the game. Shout out to who I have to research who's developing it, because this is brilliant. This is the work of a brilliant mind.
Is it really a solo developer?
I'm not sure. The game is a roguelike, guys. It's a classic RPG style roguelike. So you pick a character, and at the beginning you only have 4 character tropes available to you, and 4 races, I think. And then later on, the progression is so deep, the skill trees are so deep, and the game is so it has permadeath. It's so ridiculously hard, but still amazingly fun. It will take you between 200 and 1,000 hours until you win for the first time.
What?
But the entire way there is so much fun, and it's not frustrating. It's super enjoyable, but you have to learn the world. It's a huge world, and you go through a portal, and then you're in this dimension. You can't go back, and then you're stuck there, and there's these mind monsters, and they can fuck you up real good, and you die. And then you learn from this, okay, maybe I should not go into that portal. I mean, I clicked on the portal and the sign read, don't go in here unless you're really strong, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, oh, come on, how hard can it be? I'm a stealth archer. And I got immediately wrecked by mind flayers being able to.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is a game I would recommend to everyone. To anyone.
I just researched it. It's made by one single person who's running under the pseudonym Dark God.
Super edgy. And the writing is great. And if it's oftentimes when a singular person does something, some of the things are going to be subpar. Either the systems, either the writing, or either the visuals. In this case, what is weakest is the visuals, but the visuals are also amazing because they give you this homey old feeling, you know.
The homey old feeling.
Everything is great. It's like a book, but it's also great. I don't know. Play the game.
Maybe if I find the time.
And it's free on his website. It's free. You made
a very passionate pitch, so I have to check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, on the website it's free if you go to his website, but you can support him if you buy it on Steam. And
I thought, that's what I wanted to say. I thought on Steam.
So. It costs money on Steam, but it's only like a couple bucks. But the DLCs always cost money, and they're not DLCs; they're add-ons. They're like Witcher add-ons. They add huge amounts of content.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Okay, your turn.
Good niche pick right there, because it's not a very well-known series, I'd say. Next one. Let's see. It's a game you probably can't like have zero interest in, like nothing at all, like not even remotely, like not even close.
Star Wars?
And no. Appreciate the try. But it's a management simulation of a sports
football simulator.
Field. It's you hit it on the head, but it's called like EA. What's the English title? In German, it's called Fußball Manager, and in English, it's like EA Soccer Manager, FIFA Manager, I think. That's the one. And actually, those are systemic from a system perspective. Fantastic games. If you can't like find enjoyment in soccer or football at all, then those games are nothing for you. But if you're a fan of those games, then those games are like ultimate fulfillment of managing your own sports team. And those games went so deep in the financial and team management perspective. You could design your own merchandise. You could like build up the stadium and sell advertisement slots in the stadium, like fictively. And even your personal career as a trainer, you could like up your golf level handicap skills, and had so many ridiculous systems that you could spend a lot of time just not even managing your soccer team at all, just everything on the side. So it's a fantastic game, and yeah, that's why it's on my honorary mentions, because I spent a fuck ton of hours in these sports simulations together with my brother as well. We could have like hot seat, everyone managing his own team, playing in the same league. It was pretty cool. Yep. And since you've never touched this game and never saw anything of the game, I'm not going to let you comment on it. And please give me your next game.
I'm not allowed to trash his favorite game. Okay, I won't. It's... Oh, man. I'm gonna... Oh, no. Oh, yeah. This game is amazing. Okay. It's from 1999. Came out for PC. And it's based on Rayman. Or it's inspired. It's heavily inspired by Rayman. It's not based on Rayman. It's a Rayman-like game. Rayman 3D.
If the game wouldn't have been in your top 10, then I would have said Ratchet and Clank, but I have no clue.
Ratchet and Clank is... Okay, fair enough. I see the how they are connected. But
it's a little bit.
It's called... I think I talked about it. Yeah, I told you the story in that game. It's Tonic Trouble. Where you're this little...
Oh yeah, you mentioned it. True.
He's also a little purple guy with no limbs, with floating limbs, floating hands. And at the very beginning, you spawn in a spaceship and you see this beautiful girl. And this beautiful girl is loved by this huge muscular dude. So you're jealous and you try to steal this tonic from another room, this potion kind of magical soda. And you accidentally drop it out of the spaceship while trying to get strong with it to impress the girl. So the tonic falls down to Earth, and on Earth, it falls into the water, and everything goes crazy. Like tomatoes get angry faces and muscles, and everything just tries to kill you. And you start the game, and it has one of the best openings ever because it starts off with an insanely long slide down a hill on this little frisbee. And it's so much fun. It's amazing.
And you have to dodge stuff left and right.
Yeah, but it's free movement, and there's the entire game is filled with hidden chambers and secrets, and you have to find portals to get everywhere. It's just fucking crazy cool.
Yeah, just googled the game and looked. I'm looking at some screenshots right now, and yeah, you can 100% see the Rayman influence in the main character. It's not having a neck at all, and the loose hands flying around and all the like colorful stuff. Yeah, I think I've actually saw a TV advert at some point on Super RTL or something.
Could be
for the game. Could be.
It's a little more crazy than Rayman. Rayman is still grounded, even though it is somehow silly. But this game is just fucking crazy.
Yeah, it looks mental. The fucking grin of the tomatoes. What am I seeing?
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Pretty cool game.
Great one.
Your turn.
Okay, my turn. Cutting out the Sports Manager out of my list. The next one will be an adventure game by LucasArts, back when they still made adventures.
Monkey Island.
No, it's not Monkey Island, but Monkey Island would be a worthy pick. For sure, and it's also not Indiana Jones, because they also made like a similar to Monkey Island game for Indiana Jones, which was also very beloved in the adventure game community.
Tentacle.
But it's actually
Earthworm Jim.
Nope. All off. All came way before, and that one was properly 3D pre-rendered, and you played as Manny Calavera, who was working as basically the Reaper, and the game is called Grim Fandango, which you 100% heard of.
I have played the game in its entirety. It's a fantastic game.
Yes, and man, just the epitome of how you do adventure games with a fantastic story, and the characters were also unique and likable, and also not likable if they were assholes, of course. And the idea that you play in the afterlife a person who sells people who are just have like basically died their ticket to the next level, basically, and then you tell a romance story in there, and it's just 15 hours of an emotional roller coaster, and the world is designed with such a meticulously attention to detail, and then you have this mariachi band soundtrack and 1920s art deco-ish thing going on there. It's such a cool, unique game, and I really hope at some point someone is going to make a complete remake with up-to-date graphics. I know they remastered this. You can play it on a tablet and in a full HD version, but like it's still the graphics from back in the day, which have, of course, their charm. But yeah, that's great memories of that game.
Have you heard or played Spy Fox?
I haven't. Played it.
Everyone who out there who knows this game, Spy Fox in dry cereal. So, like what you eat for breakfast, dry cereal. Dude, this game is fucking amazing. It has the same feeling that Grim Fandango. It's also this. You play a fox and he's wearing this white overcoat and these black dress pants, and he's walking around and you try to solve a mystery. And that is in German it's called the Milchkartell. So there's essentially this mafia that is controlling the milk. So all cereal is now dry. And you're investigating that, and it's a point-and-click adventure, and it's fucking brilliant.
It has the same type of meta commentary about our society and how our society
and
stuff works.
Humor and yeah, exactly.
And humor. Okay, nice.
But it's not 3D, it's 2D. Yeah, you have to check it out for sure. It's on Steam, actually. It's got remastered at some point in 2014.
Actually, I like this trend of all the classics being remastered, and I have a lot of trouble getting to run old games on nowadays PCs because they're like not made for how system architecture works at the moment. And then the FPS stuff is used for calculation in older games, for example, and then it doesn't run on higher calculated games anymore. And so having remastered of beloved
old
classics.
Games. Play open Skyrim, tries to force 140
it's
FPS.
10 years old.
And the physics are dead. Well, let's hope they're not doing it for the new Elder Scrolls as well. That it's still fucking FPS-based physics.
No. Fantastic idea. I mean, back in the day it worked because nobody had 144 Hz monitors and wanted to have 140 FPS in each game. But nowadays you gotta hit their target if you want to satisfy the core gamer. So
yeah, even the normal gamer. So it doesn't even need to be the core group. Most gamers are now at least 90 hertz if they play PC. Console hasn't reached that yet, unfortunately. So the average console, softcore gamer, whatever, is still gummeling around at 60 hertz. But, they were slowly getting there. And the moment the fucking consoles introduce 144 hertz and the hardware to back it up is the moment I get back into the console game.
So Sony, Microsoft, if you're listening, you would have one more customer if you would.
Yeah, this one guy, yeah.
This one guy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
was Spyfox already on your honorary things, or was it a side mention in reaction to Grim Fandango?
Just an anecdote to Grim Fandango because it reminded me of Spyfox. Okay.
Nice.
Is this my turn? It's my turn. Woo! There's this game, you know it, you've played it, you were at my place, I showed you the game. It's a Boulder Dash clone. I mean, you guys are probably familiar with Boulder Dash out there. It's a 2D game, and it essentially has physics, gravity. There's gravity, a bit of the 2D objects. So when you walk around the map and you try to dig out things, and things fall on your head, and you need to collect enough gems to proceed to the next level. And this is a clone of that game. And it's even an ad game. And it's an advertisement for a German bank, which is Citibank.
That one. No, I know which one you mean.
And the game is called City, written like the English word city, but with an I in the end instead of a Y. City mining. And it has the most lovely visuals and an amazing soundtrack. And you guys are going to love this game. And I know it's an ad game, and I don't think the bank even exists still. But it's amazing. I want to play this game.
Or like me, get super frustrated because it's fucking hard. It's super difficult, man.
But it's such a grounded experience. And it has a fantastic level editor for such an old game. The game is from 2001.
Oh yeah, fair enough. But it's funny, there was this one similar game we had at school back in the day, which was also like this logic educational game, which was called Pushy, which was also like going for the same direction, like pushing boulders and then trying to move your way logically around the map and stuff. So good times having those games.
Oh yeah.
Fun memories.
I think we should really make a YouTube video or make a series. In every YouTube video, we play 5 of those games until we have them all.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Every video is 10 minutes long, shows 2 minutes of gameplay of each game.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, We are kind of at the end of our episode. It's 60 minutes now.
Are we? What the fuck? I only blacked out a third of my honorary mentions.
Okay, you do. You do one more, and then we make a second part soon.
All right, good point. Then I'm gonna. Which one I'm gonna pick? Also with let's end it with a classic. It's a game where you manage your hospital, and you can
hospital manager.
No, not quite. But it has hospital in the name. It's called Theme Hospital, and this was such a weird comedic game where you had to build up your hospital, build the rooms, and hire staff for the hospital, hire nurses and doctors, and you would design the rooms they would work in, and it says a very cartoonish comedic thing, and it was very focused on getting the money from your customers, the true American way, of course. And there was this one machine where people with huge balloon heads were coming in as their disease, and then they went to a doctor, and he popped the balloon, and the head was losing all its air, and there were so many weird diseases you could cure in the game. And there also was this, I'm not sure if it was an Easter egg, but if you were required to build your doctors some kind of leisure room where they could make a break. And if you made this leisure room too appealing, they would never work and only spend time in this fucking leisure room. And there was this hospital inspector coming, and he was always coming in my save games at the wrong time, where all the doctors were just chilling in this leisure room and playing billiard and sleeping on the couch. It was so frustrating. Yeah, this is stress. And there's a modern version of the game, a remake with a different name. 2 Point Hospital is the name, which is basically exactly that. 20 years later, they remade the premise, and I'm very happy about it. It's a fantastic game. And yes, that's one of my last honorary mentions.
It reminded me of a game that's not on my list, but maybe should be on the honorary mentions. This fucking tycoon game where you build parks.
Oh, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the original Roller Coaster Tycoons. They were so cool. Trapping visitors in endless loops until they die. Ah, yes.
Ah, yeah. Very dark, but the same people did with The Sims, taking away the ladder off of the pool when they were swimming and stuff.
Oh, I've done that so many times. Or, boxing him in and burning the house. Stuff like that.
All that, yeah. But did you know that they, of course you did know it, but they, how's the recent series called from Frontier? I think Planet Coaster, which directly ultimately builds completely on the Roller Coaster Tycoon series, which like SimCity at some point went to shit, and then some other studio came and made it better, and that's what Frontier did with Planet Coaster. So fantastic game to build your theme park.
It is amazing, yeah, to build your theme park, but then again, one of the major appeals for me of that game was the lovely graphics. I like those graphics. Now it's beautiful 3D, hyper-realistic, and objectively better, but also it lost a lot of its charm for me. So, I don't know.
Yeah, less recognizable. That's true.
Okay. That marks the end. Everyone.
That marks the end.
Does that mark the end? Should we drop one more?
You can drop one more, and then...
Yeah, I'm dropping another ad game. I'm dropping one last ad game if we are putting out all the ads.
That from a local supermarket chain.
Close. You can get the game there. The game came out of a cereal box. Wait.
Is it the Kellogg's game where you control Tony?
Yes. It's Kellogg's Tony and Friends, The New Adventure. And it came out of a cereal box.
I played it too.
It's such an amazing, again, a 2D, at this time a 2D platformer, but again, Metroidvania, because you could only finish the level once you unlock the new character. Go to second level.
Levels with where you played the monkey were also incredibly difficult.
Yeah, they were so difficult. I still have flashbacks of that monkey. And the crocodile was so scary to me as a kid. The fucking crocodile, dude.
There was this opening cinematic where the crocodile came out of the water, I think.
Yeah.
And then started to walk, and I was like, what?
Oh, that's cinematic. That's cinematic. Oh. Okay, this is how we end the episode. Thank you for being an idiot with us. Thank you for subscribing and supporting us. This really means a lot. Even though right now it's just Kalle, but thank you for all future patrons and fellow idiots, for sure.
And I mean, it will be available to everyone who is gonna become a patron maybe at some point. So it's still content for everybody else who at some point will be.
Yeah, and welcome you future patron. It's lovely to have you.
Hello from the past.
Yes, while we are still handsome and young. Okay, maybe not. We'll see.
Great way to end the episode. With a self-sucker joke.
You guys can figure out yourself if we're still handsome or if we're still young. It's one of the two. We'll find out in the next episode of Industry Idiots Aging. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Heyo.
Heyo.
What's up, patron dudes?
Totally spontaneous intro.
Yeah, the intro is now, heyo, what's up, patron idiots? Just like us.
Patreon peeps. Or what is the handle gonna be?
Ich finde die Patreon Dudes finde ich ganz cool.
Patreon Dudes. Dudes and Duderinas.
Dude ist ein gender-neutral Begriff. Raftig.
Alright. I don't know.
Raftig is the German thing that you say when someone is supposed to pull themselves together.
Raftig.
Dude knows no gender.
Alright, I never knew. Anyhow.
Alright, it's time to continue our last month's special episode where we talk about our favorite games of all time. And
yes.
if we consume the list before we reach the 1 hour mark, we will start talking about the upcoming games 2020. But the focus is the second part of our lists. So Sven, please.
Yeah. All the remaining honorary mentions.
Since we are 100% perfectly prepared for this, what was the last game in our list that we talked about?
I have no idea. I only grayed out all the things you already talked about. Those were like games like the Harry Potter games, Tony Hawk, Star Wars Battlefront, Uncharted, Football Manager, stuff like that.
Stuff like this, yeah.
All the stuff you didn't play.
Please? You mean one of my favorite games of all time, Tony Hawk, Pro Skater?
Yeah, okay. Maybe that one.
Yeah.
I think I ended on Theme Hospital. I'm not sure. The one they remade with 2 Point Hospital and a modern thing.
I think we threw the list together at some point where you were like, Sam, can you let me know? Can you ask me for like a game that's not AAA or something? And then I had to skip some and then join. But I think I ended on Kellogg's Tony and Friends.
Well, that could be a fantastic game.
The Kellogg's game. I'm not sure though. Did we talk about? No. Do you remember if we talked about games like Empire Earth?
No, we didn't. But tell me about it. I played it too.
Well, I guess we jumped through some games then. Damn. Well, that wasn't smart. Apologizing in advance if games are mentioned twice. If you're listening to this week's and last week's episode, last month's episode. So I believe we talked about City Mining. I believe we talked about Age of Empires. No, we didn't. So on my list are Age of Empires and Empire Earth for sure. Dude, it's just, even though I'm not a strategy guy, of course I love Age of Empires, but I love Empire Earth more because they were atomic bombers, dude. You could throw atomic bombs on people. So satisfying.
That was like winning the game. The strategy game equivalent to Modern Warfare's nuke. Not directly, it's not ending the game, but it was so powerful that like basically half of your base was gone afterwards. So that was nice.
If you didn't have any flak, right? If you didn't have any anti-air towers, then you were pretty much. But it was so much fun. And you could target bomb. You could press a random area on the map, doesn't matter where, and you would drop a bomb there. And the fucking explosion was huge.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I remember we, back in my like school friends circle and stuff, we played the games at LAN parties actually. And the matches in Empire Earth took ages. Like even longer than the Age of Empires matches. Like I can remember that one session went for 8 hours or something, and we didn't even reach the final advancement stage, or how do you call it, like civilization upgrade.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took forever and it's very slow paced, but it was a ton of fun for sure.
I'm still traumatized from these. At some point, you make this huge jump from firing with gunpowder. So even bullet cartridges, modern bullet cartridges, like the ammunition and the weapons we use right now, to laser weapons. And in that moment, you had these black and white stormtrooper looking guys that just had laser rifles. And the first guy who reached those could fucking wreak havoc in everyone else's cities. And the towers were too weak when you don't have the laser towers. Damn, I missed that game. That was a great game.
Do you remember that in Age of Empires there were also in the first one laser soldiers?
Yeah, if you enter a cheat, right?
Yeah, if you enter a cheat, that's a good point.
I only use POW.
POW?
But you go ahead.
What did POW do?
Do yours first. Talk about yours first.
No, this was just a Photon Man thing, or Big Daddy with the car with a rocket launcher. And back in the day, I loved these cheat codes that did totally random and out of this world, out of context, crazy ideas. And what was the one in Age of Empires 2? There was also this one ridiculous thing. I think there was like a futuristic super soldier with melee. I could be wrong though. But having these old cheats with outlandish ideas was always a nice gimmick.
What do you think POW was?
POW, probably something with a boxer. So maybe you spawn Rocky into the game.
No, it was a baby on a tricycle. Babies on a tricycle, yeah. They were pretty strong.
Where's the reference there? Why is it called cow? POW.
I don't know. I probably know a reference, or it's some. Was it POW? Or was POW damage? And what was Big Mama?
Oh, I can't recall.
No, it was POW. It was for sure POW, dude. 100%. Man, these games were cool. All right, that's the real time. Also, we played on LAN parties. We played on LAN parties almost exclusively these kind of games. Warcraft 3, all the custom mods and custom maps, and of course the Age of Empires and Empire Earth rounds that lasted the entire night.
There was one another fantastic real-time strategy game called Empires, just Empires without any attachment to it, and I was also like falling into the same region of or same type of game, and also I think that's the one I maybe played the most when it comes to single player campaigns, because it had like this voiced over single player campaigns with actual cutscenes, and that was pretty cool. So the golden age of real time strategy is over, but back in the day, 15 years ago, it was like one of the coolest genres to play in.
I wonder why it's over. Is it over because there were no new games? Or are there no new games because it was over?
Probably a little bit of both. But if I had to guess, the main reason would just be because they didn't sell as well as other types of genres, because they were more complex, more complicated, and more catered towards a more, let's say, adult.
But everyone played Age of Empires, no matter if children
and everyone played Warcraft.
So why are they not why not making a new real-time strategy AAA game?
Well, they are doing Age of Empires 4 now. So after years of, I think there was like an absence of 10 years where no good new real-time strategy games came out. Maybe the last one was maybe Halo Wars in 2008. That did something new for the genre, basically. But then if you look at last year, they completely remade and remastered the Age of Empires 1 and 2. And now they are filling this itch and this gap of demand for real-time strategy again. So,
well, I'm certainly looking forward to whatever comes out of that. I'm just worried because I think Age of Empires always picks like 4 to 5 of these stages in history. We really should find out what that means. What's the word? The English word for an epoche? It's not an epoch. No, probably not.
Okay.
An
I think it's
age.
epoch, actually.
No, it's age. Advancing in age, right? Into the
Zeitalter.
age of Zeitalter, yeah? Are you looking it up? As I'm saying.
Era, period, epoch, that's the things you could have used.
All right.
And age is like Zeitalter, yeah.
Okay, so if you advance in age or if you advance in epoch, there's only 4 or 5 in each of the Age of Empires. And every single Age of Empires focuses on a different 4 or 5 of those.
Mm-hmm.
So Age of Empires 4, I don't know which epochs are left, but probably focusing on not so interesting.
Well, judging from the trailer, it's medieval times. Because there were for sure
interesting for
castles and trebuchets and stuff. So
the trebuchet meme guys, they will have a field day.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Hit me with one of your games, or just dive into the chatter. Also, why is the game named Empire? We have Age of Empires, we have Empire Earth, and we have Empire. Come on, people.
Maybe exactly why, to confuse people in the store to buy that game.
They all hired the same freelance writer to write their titles.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Next one could be. It's also a real-time strategy game, but it added RPG elements. Can you guess which ones? That's from a German studio, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Early 2000s, and it had like this unique mix between commanding a bunch of forces, and then you had this one hero who were also fighting alongside these forces. And
Heroes of Might and Magic.
Close, but it's the one I was talking about is Spellforce, of course. Spellforce Order of Dawn. And that also had a great single-player campaign, which I enjoyed very much. And recently they were also revamping it after 10 years of not touching the IP with Spellforce 3. So yeah, that one was, I think EA Phenomic made the game. Not sure, one of the famous EA studios that got closed. So yeah, rip in peace to EA Phenomic.
Rip in peace is confirmed, dude. They closed so many studios. They closed like 20 studios. I'll never forgive them. I don't hate you, but I'll never forgive them for Viserion games, or however they were called. The guys behind Visceral?
Visceral games, the ones
I don't know how to pronounce
Dead
this.
Space.
Yes, Visceral.
Yeah.
Visceral games. I'm sorry. Butchered the name, but it doesn't matter. They don't exist anymore anyway. Feels sad. Too soon.
Yeah. Too soon.
Well, I missed that already. The question is, was it that did the studio die because of, sequels that didn't or weren't as good as the first installation? Or was it the other way around, that they got adopted and that's why the game got worse because they had to adhere to publisher guidelines?
Yeah, it can be different factors, of course. Like on the one hand, the studio can, of course, be responsible if there's some misorganization, mismanagement going on there, or not like respecting any contracts or taking too long for the project, stuff like that. And on the other hand, then you have EA with like the analytics, KPIs, market numbers, and maybe readjusting their company strategy, not wanting to continue even on the Command & Conquer series they also had. So some series are like probably not performing as well, and that's why they're not continuing with the studio.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I guess it's time for you to hit me with a game.
Well, yeah, Spellforce was the last one.
Oh yeah,
so
true.
The next...
Dude, what is happening with my brain today? Yeah, okay, then it's my turn again. Dude, I don't know what's happening. Like I've been confusing my courses. Maybe it's this lack of sleep today. Too much
Most
on my
likely.
mind.
Or you left your brain in the index.
Accurate could be.
Yeah.
Okay. So next one for me has a very, very remarkable title melody. I don't know if I should be doing it on the podcast. But okay, for everyone guessing out there,
if you're humming it, there can literally not be copyright infringement.
Okay.
So.
If you realize what that is, then heads off to you. You'll get a personal shout out in the next podcast if you know what that is at this very moment. It's Metal Arms.
It's from a TV show. Oh,
no,
okay, never mind.
It's Metal Arms Glitch in the System. It's a game from.
Dude, it sounded like Simpsons melody.
No, it's not. It's maybe
Okay.
maybe I'm just doing it wrong with my somewhere vocal fry. I don't know where this vocal fry is coming from. 2003 PS2, amazing game. You were this little robot, and you could of course play it in co-op again, as all my favorite games. You could play it against your people close to you, so against my brother. And you played this little robot, and you had a bolt gun, and that was implanted into your arm. And in the other arm, you had this lasso you could send out. If you aimed it at a robot, an empty robot standing in the map, or like in the multiplayer maps, there were NPC robots attacking you. And if you sneak up behind them and you aim your lasso at this core they have on their back, you would take over their body. You would transfer your mind into that robot, so your robot would be lying there and cannot be killed. It's just invincible. And then you would be controlling that robot instead. And they had, like, you could jump around and walk. But these robots, they could fly. They had huge Gatling machine guns, and they have crazy shit. And there's so much. And they even had, if you used, there's a rifle that shoots like saw blades, and you could even cut off robots' hands and everything. And then they can only shoot, their arms hanging down.
Reassemble them, or was it just
No, they were hanging down, and that's damaged then.
Okay.
And then you can only shoot with the other arm. So this game was way ahead of their time. Amazing game.
That sounds like a dream for people who like to create puzzles. If you can control all the different NPCs and take over their skill set, their mechanic set, and then it opens up like.
But it's a fighting game. It's a shooter. You fight each other. Yeah.
All right.
But I'm sure someone could still create puzzle maps, but it's a fighting game.
Yeah, I haven't played it, so can't say.
Not fighting game. Sorry, that's wrong. It's a shooter, right? You shoot each other in third person.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, then it could work, I guess.
Your turn.
My turn. Let's say. I feel like I've picked all of those already.
While you search, I'm gonna grab a glass of water.
All right, go for it.
Entertain the people.
Entertain the people. Or I'm just gonna wait until you cut it out. No. Actually, this game, while Sam is gone, it doesn't make sense to actually give any hints, because he will not be able to guess it anyways. So I'm just gonna give the hints once he's back. There we go. So my super smooth transition. Yeah, I was just saying that it wouldn't have made any sense to give the listeners any hints about it, because you wouldn't have heard any hints to guess it. So here we go. It's a shooter game. It's a horror shooter game, mid 2000s, and it was like revolutionary for the way they did like the creepiness and jump scares. And also, I think the thing the game made most headlines about was actually how smart the AI was. Exactly. Fear was like, oh my god, I shit my pants in that game. I played it completely alone, 11 years old or however old I was. And I'd never seen something as terrifying. I never played Resident Evil up until that point, because didn't own the game. But Fear was one of the earliest like horror shooters I've ever played, and holy shit, did they do it well with this little girl running from corridor to corridor when you only blink with an eye and stuff, and when you turn to a ladder, turn around, and then she comes towards you and stuff. So that was like, holy fuck, what was that intense.
And back then we were so much more susceptible to fear as well. Like if I imagine playing Half-Life Alyx as a kid with like 13, 14 years old with the oh my god, with the dark areas and the flashlight. Oof.
No. After you hyped me yesterday with the flashlight thing, I played that section again, and I was literally, even though I played that section 2 times now, I was fucking sweating.
Yeah.
Like, same. What is going on? It was so intense. I've never was sweating in a game for years. And I was like, yeah.
And you check every corner, but on the other hand, you don't want to check every corner. It's crazy.
Because And the sequel to Fear was also pretty good. And then they butchered the third sequel and made it some weird version of co-op, and it didn't work out as well. So yeah, Fear 1 and 2, fantastic games, super scary. And now I guess it's your next pick.
I really don't remember if we talked about those. It feels like we talked about these. Next pick is Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare.
I'm not sure. You should have marked them in the list after
I should have
talking about them.
I should
feel
have,
like we
but
have
I did
talked
not.
about Undead Nightmare.
It's amazing.
I think we did.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
a fantastic game.
If we didn't, it's a standalone. I'm just as short sum up before we skip to the next one. It's a standalone game that was released on a PlayStation 3 on its own. You didn't need Red Dead Redemption for it. And essentially, it's the Red Dead Redemption World zombie fight. And it had apocalyptic horses and secrets, and Bigfoot was in the game. There were so many secrets and monsters in the game. Amazing. I prefer this game. I know. But I prefer this game over the real game. It's just, I don't know. It's just so cool.
Probably a project where the developers could just run wild with all the ideas, and there was no regulations or limitations to anything. Just do what you want, do some crazy ideas, and that was the result.
Yeah, like Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Yeah, something like that.
Standalone
Indeed.
crazy DLCs.
Please do more of that, industry. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, industry. That would be cool. I mean, there's also this in between, like Witcher's add-ons that are, they're somewhat not coherent with the rest of the world, but they also are, right? So it's like a dream world, and but still, and it's bubbly and colorful.
Oh, some quest lines, you mean? Not entire add-ons, right?
Yeah, I mean the one add-on that's in a dream world.
Or part of it takes place in a dream world.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Blood and Wine, the one with the fairy tales?
I have played neither.
Okay, never mind.
I just know that you drink something and then you go shoo and get there. I don't know.
Yeah. Perfect description.
All right, your turn.
Just to make a last comment on the previous one, I always confused Undead Nightmare with the Alan Wake standalone thing, American Nightmare. And they also had like the same color scheme in marketing and the similar cover and stuff.
No.
So
Undead Nightmare is green. Alan Wake is black.
Yeah, the normal Alan Wake, but not Alan Wake American Nightmare.
Oh, I never played it.
It also has like this red and green color scheme, and it's like turns around the Alan Wake formula, goes away from the moody, dark, spooky thing to I think you get a chainsaw. I'm not sure. I haven't played much of it, but I always confuse those two. So random side fact.
Random side fact. Yeah. Well, no, that wasn't your pick. Go for it.
My pick is actually not a PC game this time, not a console game this time. It's a handheld game. Oh my
god, it's a handheld Star Wars game. Sheesh.
No, it's not.
What is it?
I mean, you can basically not do this list without mentioning one of the most influential RPGs ever. Yep, it's Pokemon. But can you guess which one was my favorite?
Well, it can't be Ruby and Sapphire, because I have already mentioned that on my list.
Yeah, I haven't played those. I stopped after Gold. No, I stopped up after Sapphire.
Your favorite one is probably the one where Pikachu follows you. Yellow.
Exactly. The yellow one. You know me way too well. Yeah. I don't know why, but that was like always so charming that you had this buddy following you around, and that was like what sold me on the game. And after Yellow, of course, I also played the other ones, but it was like having Pikachu around you and then turning around and talking to it was like having this small pet was just adorable and cool, and I loved that. And
a little bit more than a pet, like a companion, you know?
Yeah.
I was always jealous.
You could actually be useful.
Yeah.
It was not only following you around, also fighting for you. So
and pretty cool. You could speak, right? Or he could speak with you in some way. At least
react in some way.
Like he could understand.
When you turn around and inspect them. Yeah.
Okay. I was always jealous. True. I only had the red version. I love the red version to death. But when you have the red version, you of course see people with yellow version playing, and they have this Pikachu following them around. And as a kid, you're like, this is not fair.
It's not fair. Why don't I have it? Did any of the other Pokemon games after it do that again? Or was that generally like not as well received with having Pikachu behind you?
I don't understand why this. I don't think any of the Pokemons ever had it again, but I don't understand why that's not a possibility. Why can't I tell one of my Pokemon, dude, you're cool. I'm not believing in keeping you in a ball. Please follow me around.
Well, but I could think of one reason. How many Pokemons are there right now? 700, 800? You can't animate all of those in a.
I'm sure you could find some. You could find some. Yeah, okay. You had to animate him from 4 directions.
At least with the old games, yeah.
But they never did it again, unfortunately.
At least not that I know of. So.
What was the difference between red, blue, and yellow? Except Pikachu.
Well, yellow, of course, was the Pikachu thing, and red and blue. Good question. I think one of the later hard to obtain Pokemon. So, not sure. Or was it the starter Pokemon? Could you choose in the early ones? You could choose, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because in yellow you couldn't choose. You had Pikachu.
Ah, so there we go. Because you could choose in red and blue, for sure. All right, that's very cool. Okay. Dude, I remember so vividly how many times I've duped items with Missingo. The Pokemon, the glitch Pokemon that you could encounter when you had to, in a specific way, you had to take the MS Anne, the yacht, the cruise ship, and then you had to walk up and down on some side pier, and then Missingo would appear. And it's just this glitchy mess of pixels, and it would dupe the 6 item slot of your inventory for infinite amounts.
So was that like a legit Easter egg, or was it a glitch?
No, it was a real glitch. Like manipulating through walking there and doing these specific steps, you would write the RAM of the handheld console, and that would form a chain of ones and zeros that would somehow make this glitch appear. I don't know how the code interacts, but it wasn't an intended Easter egg.
Okay, fair enough. But there for sure are a bunch of intended Easter eggs in there.
Yeah.
What was the most frustrating experience with Pokemon for you?
I had none. Okay. First of all, I want to say I loved all of Pokemon, and I especially loved the creepy ghost towns with the high towers. And I loved
with the soundtrack.
And I loved all legendary Pokemons and everything around Celebi and Ho-Oh, and I don't know how they're called in English. I'm sorry, guys. The legendary mini thing that flies around that looks like a vegetable, and the big rainbow bird.
The big rainbow bird. Fantastic description.
Most frustrating part was when we discovered that shinies or the sheenies or shinies actually existed. And then, of course, everyone in the entire school wanted a shiny. And I don't know if you're familiar, but you can encounter any Pokemon in its shiny version. And that means it has a different color scheme. Any Pokemon.
Similar to the trading cards. There were also this super rare shiny cards.
Yeah, but in this case, it was, probably that's where it came from. But yeah, you could, but the chance to encounter a shiny was so low. I have encountered one shiny in my entire life. In one version
I've never encountered anyone.
Maybe you didn't
any of those.
No, you could have easily realized. That's super obvious. Like you encounter any Pokemon. I'm just going to say Charmander because I know the English word for this Pokemon. And you would encounter it and it would be, I don't know, black or blue or something. It has one specific shiny color. And I still remember where I encountered mine. And the only shiny I have ever encountered was in a fucking Pokemon tower from a trainer. So I couldn't catch it. Because it belonged to a trainer. It's the only shiny I encountered in my entire life of editions of playing all Pokemons.
The next frustrating thing would have been to encounter it in the safari park, and then you can't catch it as well.
The safari park was also so cool. All the chimeras, I don't know how they're called in English again, the Pokemon with the egg in the kangaroo pouch. So cool. Damn. But my favorite Pokemon, we can't talk about favorite Pokemon because the names are not going to match up. It's called Despota in German, and it's and it's this huge.
Is it the horse?
No. It is first this little green thing with the black triangles, and then there's this blue larvae kind of thing, and then the third one is the big hunk, the olive green big hunk Pokemon, and so cool. It's a dark type, I think.
Oh, the green Godzilla thing.
Yeah.
Kinda. Okay.
How about you?
Favorite Pokemon? Good question. I was kind of influenced by my brother in that regard, because I always watched him play the Blue Edition, and he had I don't know the English word for, it's one of the starter Pokemons, the water one. I think it's Shiggy in German.
The German name is so cool, Shiggy.
And not sure what the English name is. Yeah. But that's one of the favorite ones, because I was also always a fan of the water Pokemon. And yeah, I'd say it's probably that one. And then obviously Pikachu.
Off the wall taste right there. The two most beloved Pokemon of all time are your favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, I guess.
And your third favorite one is Charmander, right?
No, I was always on Team Water.
Okay, nice. That's cool.
The one Pokemon that was like this stupid duck.
Anton in German.
Anton. Like
the Pokemon that one of Team Rocket has. The dumb duck. So great.
The dumb duck, and that always confuses all its enemies. That was fantastic. And I think it's also a little bit biased because of the TV show, and the TV show portrayed the Pokemons, like gave them extra character always, and that was pretty cool. So there was this one episode where Anton was part of the plot basically, and confused everyone in the main cast, and I always found that hilarious as a child. So I liked Anton.
I still find this to be hilarious, and I'm just replaying Pokemon Ruby, and I encountered an angler, someone who's who's fishing, a fisherman, and he's like, dude, I have this insane Pokemon that I just caught, be ready. And then he pulls out his Pokemon, and it's the fish. It's that orange fish.
Carpador.
Carpador in German, but it's that fish. And it can't do anything. And somehow it's still the coolest Pokemon, because if you get it to evolve, then you have the insane Gyarados. I don't know if that's the English.
The fucking
disaster.
Water lizard snake.
Yeah, the water lizard snake. Insane size. So cool.
Yeah, visually that was one of the coolest, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a bunch of Pokemon talk. Should we get to the next one, or do you have any clothing thoughts? You're skipping?
Yeah, I'm skipping my next one because it's Pokemon Ruby. So,
Pokemon Ruby, okay. What made Ruby special? Just to give that one
I don't know. That one sentence is, I've always loved the first Pokemon the most, and somewhere I still do, but I think they were missing that colorful, beautiful, high resolution pixel art. And with Pokemon Ruby, and also with Fire Red and Leaf Green after, but with Ruby especially, they nailed this feel-good art style. They never achieved it again, I think. I hate all the DS art styles and the new art styles for the Switch as well, with the Pokemon Sword or whatever. But that art style is my favorite. And with the introduction of the secret bases, so you could build your own base a little bit like Animal Crossing, that was just amazing. And I played the shit out of that. And I also love the legendary and the plot there.
Those were the ones on the Game Boy Advance, right?
Yeah, the red and with the blue one had this weird whale thing, but I love the red one.
The sophisticated pixel art.
It's called high resolution or high res pixel art or something. But yeah, that one.
High pixel.
Moving on to the next game, as we said, I want to skip that one, is Mäusejagd im Grand Hotel. So it's a German title because it's a German game.
All right.
Sven is laughing.
You have to explain the title, please.
The title is already ridiculous by itself. I'm going to translate it literally, and then you will understand why Sven is laughing, because it's also ridiculous if you hear it in German. And it's Maishand in the Grand Hotel. Grand Hotel, in the Grand Hotel.
Yeah.
So it's quite literally what it says. It's a 2D hand-painted, hand-illustrated game where you start the game with, you see this beautiful French or German or whatever Grand Hotel. So a hotel that is like haute everything, high class. And there's music and there's a live band and there's high class guests that are touchy and about they're eating a lobster and whatever. And then you have this van coming by from some repairman. Or I don't remember where the mice are coming from, but you have these 20, I don't know, green mice come in. And they hide in all of the hotel. So what the essential game is 2D, and you choose a hotel room. You have like 1 to 30 hotel rooms, and you can go through all the hotel rooms. You have to find the mice. And while you do that, you discover the story of the guests, and you click on things like a point-and-click adventure. You click on things, and you look for all the mice behind images, under curtains, that kind of stuff, inside people's heads. And it just tells you the story of all the guests. And then at the end, when you have collected all the mice, they play in a little band. Orchestra
like
band.
In a grand orchestra. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Super cool.
It's a hidden gem.
It's a hidden gem for sure. Your turn.
I've never played it, but I've seen it on numerous children magazines being advertised.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, it was actually in the. I think they advertised it in the Mickey Mouse magazine at some point.
Could be.
Or who knows? All right. Moving on. Next one is probably one of the main orientations for Subway Surfers.
For Subway Surfers.
And it's completely, well, it has the same core gameplay because you are also in this runner type of gameplay. Maybe it's, to be fair, it's not an endless runner, but it's a runner type of gameplay and was on the Dreamcast and it came out in the late 90s. And it matched this runner gameplay with like you having this home base and had to collect like this very little things, and I'm not sure what it were, but you can also like breed those and create different combinations of those. And the game I'm of course talking about is Sonic Adventure 2.
Not played it.
So played it, yeah. Okay.
Sonic Adventure is not a 2D, or is it?
No, Sonic Adventure 2 is the 3D one where you are also in control of multiple Sonic characters, like the others a little bit too, but it's like...
You're still raced around this path and there's loopings and everything.
Yeah, you always
I've played it.
Runner things and yeah.
I remember this game.
Sonic Adventure 2 was the one where Shadow made his debut, like the dark version of Sonic and the evil version of Sonic, and that was always my favorite Sonic character. And you could always play like him and as him as well, and that felt super badass being 6 years old. So I enjoyed that a lot and have very fond memories.
Give me the Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah, exactly. You had to collect all those emerald stuff.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Light. Yeah.
Dragon Ball Light a little bit. Yeah.
Awesome. I always loved those original Sonic games on the Sega Mega Drive, like the 2D ones with the Green Hill Zone. It's such a classic. I love those games.
Was the Mega Drive before the Dreamcast or after? I'm actually not sure.
Well, if it had 3D, it's definitely, if your thing had 3D, then that is definitely later than my thing.
Was capable of 3D. It was kind of like the GameCube, very similar.
Yeah, okay, no way. Mine is older. The thing that I was using is older. Okay. The Sega Mega Drive, also known as, there's a different version of it that's called the Sega Genesis system. So cool.
Back in the day when Sega was leading next to Nintendo in the console market still.
I still remember, dude. Every game you start with from Sega, and it's like this Sega. It comes in front of every game. So cool.
True.
All right.
This Sonic game was actually one of 2 games I've ever played on the Dreamcast. I never owned any other games. And the second one was this, I can't remember the name, but it was this weird ass game where you could control dolphins and talk to dolphins. And
Flipper.
Maybe Flipper, I'm not sure. But it had this realism touch. It wasn't any cartoon version of anything.
Oh, I remember this game. I've played this game too. Yes.
But
yes.
I'm not even sure what the gameplay was. I've just flashes of images in my head as remembering it. And I found myself also enjoying that one, but I was also like weirded out, like, what am I supposed to do here? What's the point of all of this? Why am I this dwarf? What do I have to do? And yeah, those are the two Dreamcast memories I have.
Yeah, I remember that game, of course. Next pick for me is, you know, the game. It did not age well. It's very racist. It's again a German classic.
Is it Larry?
No, Larry is sexist. Okay. It's something different. No, it's sorry, wrong game. It's Alien Tequila.
Oh, I've never played that one.
So it's called Alien Tequila. If you Google it and you see the images, yeah, I think it was a marketing game for some kind of tequila company.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
There's little green alien dudes with huge eyes. Look totally weird, totally scrawny little dudes. Small, super
the
small.
Stoner aliens.
They fit in a bubble, and you are essentially like in the Moorhuhn game, so like the standing shooter, old standing shooter games.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing in the middle, and you can just turn in circles, and you're standing in the desert, in Mexico or somewhere, in this weed field. Someone is like, growing weed.
Oh, for sure, that's Area 51 they're trying to portray.
I don't think so. No. It's some private guy who is growing weed and drinking tequila, and the aliens want to steal his weed. So you shoot the aliens, and you have you can shoot them and kill them with your laser rifle, but you can also, when the aliens are out of their ships, you can pull them in again with a lasso. And when you pull them in, they get captured in a bottle, and you can see them getting mixed. Like they are being like in a blender. You can see them get blended into tequila, and that's how you score points. And it had this very racist German version of Spanish and Mexican, dialect kind of language mix. Super funny. I don't know, but didn't age well at all. Love the game.
It's one of those very casual games, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool pick. I love this crazy, all of those world character design things from back in the day. Similarly to one of your favorites, the Destroy All Humans thing was also way over the top.
Oh yeah, true. Abducting humans and everything. Probing. All right, your go.
And yeah, next one for me would be probably one of the best stealth games back in the day. It's not being Splinter Cell, it's not Hitman. No. And it's a stealth game in the medieval times.
I don't know any stealth games in medieval times.
It's the main series is basically Thief, and the original game was called, I think, Dark Project. And you had this super cool mechanic of using different types of arrows for your bow while you were sneaking around in this first-person medieval castle and cities and alleys and stuff. And what you could do is use these arrows. There was a water arrow, there was a moss arrow and stuff, and you could use the water arrow to shoot out the lamps. And then there was darkness, and you could use the area to go through the darkness. And then also there were different surfaces you could walk over, and then you shoot the moss arrow on there, and then you didn't make any sounds. So that was one of the most... it was super terrifying and creepy for me back in the day, because I was also, again, super young when I played it. But the way that you could like influence the environment around you with these mechanics was so cool. And there were like a bunch of other arrows as well. I can't remember. I think one exploding thing and one for damage, of course. But yeah, that was a fantastic game.
Sounds like you reminisce?
Reminiscing? I'm not sure.
Our English today is very rusty.
Very broken. Yeah, very broken English.
We've had German meetings all day and tired as hell. So you have to apologize. We have to apologize, guys. But whatever. This is the life now. My next pick, Sven. I held a presentation over this game's mechanics in my university course on game design. It's a live-action Worms.
Is it Worms?
No, live action. It's not turn-based. It came out like 2 years after the original Worms or something, or 3 years. It came out in 1998. It was for Windows DOS, and it's called Lero or Liero.
Never heard.
It's amazing. Guys, right now, go to Open Lyro, or go to Web Lyro. So
How do you write the Lyro thing?
WEBLIERO. Web Lyro.com, probably .org. I don't know. And you can play it in the browser with up to 16 people. And it's insane. It's super brutal. The worms explode with gore. You can set the charge time of the weapons to instantly, so you don't have any cooldowns, and you can just go ham and kill each other. And you have this little ninja rope, so you can swing around in 2D. It's literally worms in live action. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really brutal and amazing. Yeah, for sure. Or you can play team deathmatch or capture the flag. There's a pro league and everything. It's amazing. Love this game. Fun. The end, of course, it was amazing for level designer. Making maps for this game was cool. Cool as hell.
Was it 2D or was it 3D?
2D.
What did you say?
2D.
2D. Okay. So from the side. All right.
Yeah.
Nice. Actually, back in the day, there were a bunch of games where you were controlling animals who were hell-bent on fighting and killing each other. So many of those types. And nowadays, you don't really have those anymore because they're like not as realistic and gritty. Yeah.
It's because, first of all, yeah, of course, because of work, because it all took longer to do with humans. But no, also because of age ratings. Because killing animals... or if elements kill each other, who cares? Age ratings don't care.
Oh yeah, that reminds me completely of I don't know the English term, but the German term was Frontschweine, and I think it was called Swine something. It's basically a third-person turn-based military game where you played pigs, humanoid pigs that were fighting each other with like rocket launchers and machine guns and stuff. And that was like, I think it only had an age rating of USK 6. So from 6 years on, or at least 12, you could play this super violent game, which otherwise with humans would probably have been like 18 plus. So yeah, also great game. I didn't put on the list, but should have, because I played that a ton with a bunch of friends taking the hot seat thing, turn-based. That was great.
Mm-hmm. So give it a chance, guys. You can chill if you're sitting in Discord right now, you're chilling, send your friends, say, hey, do you want to play 10 minutes of Lero? And you get a bunch of your friends and you just slaughter each other as live action worms. It's still holding up. I promise you, if it would have come out today, it would still work. It's a little.
And if you beat Sam at the game, you can come on the podcast.
All right. Maybe no. Okay. Since no one is listening to this, yes, if you beat me, whoever is listening to this, you can come on the podcast. But that would mean that I have to have time to play. Mm-hmm. But yeah, do play that game in a little break. Okay.
Yes.
Sven, your turn.
Next one. I have so many strategy and simulation and tactic games from back in the day. Maybe I'll pick something that's more recent. Or maybe not. Stronghold, of course. One of my all-time favorites. Stronghold Crusader. And the first one.
Amazing.
Perfect. Yeah. There's still, to the day, they made like 20 sequels by now. And none of those got close to how iconic and well-balanced the first two ones were. So, amazing.
There was this strategy game I played. Maybe you know it. I don't remember. The name was something with knights. And you had to capture and hold castles.
With knights?
Yeah.
Like fighting knights or dark knights?
Knights of whatever, or Crusader.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's probably not Crusader Kings. That's too strategic.
Damn, it was such a great game. Now you've sparked this memory. I'm gonna Google live in the podcast. Tell us about your next game, Sven, or why you like this
Knights
one in
of Thrones,
particular.
maybe? No, that's something else. Never mind. Yeah, I could actually keep talking about Stronghold for ages, but I think everyone knows Stronghold, so it doesn't need a big explanation for that game. Just the best castle simulator and battle simulator where you defend and take castles that exists, in my opinion. So no game came actually close to simulate this. Sending your archers on the walls and defending the walls from incoming attack as well as Stronghold did. So there was still, to this day, they have like a super active modding community where you have like all the famous movie battles, Lord of the Rings, Helm's Deep, and all the other stuff are being made as community maps. And you could play those and like relive your strategy, fantasy, battle nerd fantasy. So fantastic game. So please, that's also a shout out to any dev. Release your map editors, release your tools, please. It will benefit your game to like beyond imagination, like the longevity of everything and community hype that creates or is being generated around mods is like unparalleled if you have modding tools and mapping
for
tools.
For sure, man. No one can rival that. Like when you look at Skyrim, look at Skyrim and look at Mountain Blade, the first Mountain Blade game. These games are only alive and exist because of their mods and were so successful. Yep. So definitely care about that, please. We do.
Yeah, those were games where people bought these games because they saw so cool mods that made them buy the games. So it can only be positive. The one reason I can see why they're not publishing these tools is just because then they don't have a leverage on selling DLC expansion packs. Because somebody else will always do it for free, you know? So that's probably one of the reasons. And it's probably super hard to maintain and document and stuff.
Yeah, and you have to create the tools. It costs money to create modding tools. A lot of money.
Or you do it like Valve and release your internal tools, the complete source kit. So
that's not industry standard. No, but it could be. Maybe it should be.
Creation Kit is also the engine Bethesda uses in-house. So they're not doing anything else than the modders. So.
Oh, true. But the Red Kit is also not public. Or
at
is
least
it?
Not for Witcher 3.
Yeah, true.
It was in an like kind of semi-official version for Witcher 2. So
why didn't they do it anymore for Witcher 3?
I don't know. Maybe like you said, it costs resources to make those tools like self-contained.
Or maybe they are really going with a purist approach where they're saying, yep, this is the story, and no, we don't want any mods. Could be.
No one works in our universe and world. Could be, yeah. Pride. Or also licensing problems with like if you have like a contract with some author about your fantasy brand, then you
make
of course
sex characters. Woo! You walk through the world of Witcher and there's sex slaves everywhere. Yeah, that's essentially what.
Mod.
Yeah, well, that's already that. All of that already exists for Skyrim, so it's not a surprise. All right, let's move on. We only have 10 minutes left. Sven, next part on my list is a game that I enjoyed for very long, together with many friends. What game is it? It's not Counter-Strike.
Dota?
No, it's
no, okay.
It's an MMO.
World of Warcraft.
Yes, but which expansion?
Yes. Most people I know stopped after Wrath of the Lich King, I think. So
because Cataclysm was a shit show, yes. But
probably Burning Crusade then.
Yes, exactly. Man, I love that. Of course, I was an edgy teenager, so demons, of course, was my thing anyway. But this is the game and the RPG and the story and the high fantasy that resonated with me the most out of every universe I've ever touched in games. It's beautiful. It was the first real amazing, large, immersive MMO with a lot of players. You start the server and you're in this world. Now this will happen again. This feeling that I had the first time I opened World of Warcraft Burning Crusade or Vanilla, this feeling will happen again the moment someone makes a good VR MMO. But until then,
yes, please.
World of Warcraft will still hold the number one spot in my heart for
holding the throne.
Yeah. How about you, Schwenny boy?
Wasn't Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King also like still expansions where the gameplay loop wasn't as autopilot as in the later games? Like
Yes.
where you were much more expected of you to actually like look around where you have to go and not follow some markers.
That, and you had to walk to dungeon entrances, and there was no look for raid. There was no raid find. You didn't press a button to get into an instance or raid or group or dungeon or anything. You had to go into a city and you had to bargain and talk in chat with other players to find groups to even progress for content. And it was amazing.
That reminds me a lot of Dark Age of Camelot. Have you played that one?
No.
That was also one of the, I think the only MMO I played. Like more actively than not actively in that sense. And that was like for me the up to that point until I stopped the best medieval MMORPG that was out there. So probably a similar immersiveness hype feeling about that one like you had with World of Warcraft. So I would put it in that same level of, oh damn, this is a huge world where a bunch of other knights are running around and rogues and all the stuff. And you had this feeling of limitless possibilities, basically, which made it special.
I miss it so much. Damn. MMORPGs were really something special.
WoW Classic is a thing, so
but it's not the same.
Jump in.
I did jump in, but it's not the same. It's not the same as seeing the game from kids' perspective, from seeing it from my eyes 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different. I had a similar feeling when I came back to the game at one point. I'm a huge fan of Asian culture, like traditional culture, not what the fucking hell they're doing there right now, but the traditional culture. And I also love all the kung fu and Japanese movies and all the movies. And oh my god, I love Mists of Pandaria. At the time, everyone hated it. But I was a hipster in this regard. I'm not gonna lie. I love Mists of Pandaria the second it hit. I love the pandas. Never played one, but I love them. I love the aesthetic. I love the music. I love the Timeless Isle that everyone hated. I love the expansion with every single. I love the level design. I love the dungeons, raids, everything. I love this expansion with every single cell in my body, and I will fight everyone to death who says otherwise. It's amazing. I want to play it again, and I wish I could go back in time to when it first dropped. But I can't, and this will make me sad forever.
Eternal sadness will go through your heart and stay there.
Sometimes it's
until
really
somebody
sad.
remastered it.
No, not even then. Sometimes it's... I mean, we've all faced this when we finish Witcher, when we finish your favorite story game, when you finish it, when you do every single quest and you just can't play it again because you know everything. That feeling that you can never relive this. For me, it's Mists of Pandaria. For you, it's maybe, I don't know, Neverwinter Nights or RuneScape or whatever. You can never relive the good old days. And sometimes it's like people always say, especially boomers, people not introduced in the game scene, games industry, who have never played, they don't understand. They think this is a gimmick. Games are a gimmick, but they're not. I have real heartbroken feelings towards never being able to play this game again in this context.
In the original form.
Yeah.
I have that a lot with story-driven games. For example, Knights of the Old Republic would be one. I would love to have my memory wiped and relive that one for the first time again.
With everyone else, not only yourself.
Yeah, true.
Good times. Maybe it was just because we were kids.
Probably. I mean, if you would make the same game concepts now again with like up-to-date graphics, I think most of them would still hold up, but could be done in a much more let's say, up-to-date way of handling controls and graphics and camera and AI scripting and stuff. But the core identity of the worlds they build, capturing this is like would be the main task for doing a proper remake or remaster of anything that we hold beloved in our memories.
Yeah. That was also a different way to experience games back then. You didn't have a worry in the fucking world. You were 15, 16, 14, doesn't matter. And you came home from school talking all day with your friends about what epic adventures you had the day before and what you hope
and
to...
when you're gonna meet again in the evening.
And then you race home, you eat the pancakes your mother made you, hopefully, I don't know, or you made yourself, whatever family you come from. And then you race up to your PC and you play. And then there's your friend already waiting for you and you do it the same way until there's exams. And then after the exams, you do the same shit, but in holiday and where you don't have to watch time.
Oh.
Good times.
That's true.
All right. We're almost at the end. How many do you have left, Sven?
I could think of some, but those are like more the obvious ones you would put in these lists, like the Grand Theft Auto games, which everyone has played, which you don't have to talk about.
Yeah.
Or games from the Total War series, which I'm a huge fan of, like Medieval 2 and Rome and Empire, Warhammer 2, all those Total War games. I'm a huge sucker for that. Again, influenced by my brother. It's like always this big influence your older brother has on you. I'm sure Jim feels the same about you influencing him, because this always the connection to somebody who introduces you to new stuff and has access to stuff that is behind like an age or paywall much earlier than you have. So that's your dealer of good and new experiences.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly. Your filter.
Your filter. Yeah.
For sure. There's one more game on both of our lists that we haven't talked about, and that's Counter-Strike.
Oh yeah.
Counter-Strike. Yeah. Source
has to
and
be mentioned.
Go. Yeah.
Go for sure.
Yeah. Source came out 2004 PC, and I played like 10,000 hours, probably over 6 accounts, and I mainly did Surf RPG and ESL Gathers. So I was playing professionally, semi-professionally, whatever you could call competitive gaming back in the day. Didn't matter. There was only this ESL league, and I played Surf RPG, which was amazing.
I was never good at Surf. Like I hated it.
You didn't need to be good at Surf, because it's not about solving a surf map like an usual surf map. It's not about solving that parkour, but it's about...
Yeah, I sucked at exactly that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
until at some point in Go, I finally got the hang of it, what I had to do. But I was way too stupid in Source to surf proper. So
I was always addicted to surfing, listening to low beat, happy house EDM stuff back in the day, and then just surfing happy house, and wrecking everyone with the AWP because it was unbalanced back in the day. And there was no cap on bunny hopping speed.
And walking speed while zooming and stuff.
Yeah.
So
good times. And Surf RPG was that you killed people and you gained level and XP for killing them. And so you could level up and you could gain things like, it was a community mod, but we played exclusively that for 5k hours. You could get freezing knife. So you knife someone and they are frozen in place. So what you surf behind someone or you hit them and you freeze them, and then you keep walking through them so they can't shoot you, and you just keep knifing them until they're dead. These kind of stuff, shenanigans, lifesteal, all that shit. Good times.
For my for a group of friends back in the day when we played a lot of, we also rented a server, of course, because no one of our group was capable of hosting those until someone figured it out. But then up until that point, we paid for it, and we always hosted in our group a jail server. This was also one of the game modes my circle of friends
I hate you and all your friends. I hate them all.
Yeah.
I hate jail servers. I hate their communities. I hate people who go through this sadomasochistic gameplay approach of wanting to be dominated. Yeah, it's
a game mode for people with a power complex.
It is made for people with a power complex who have no respect for themselves. That's the last sentence you need.
But there was, to be fair, there was this one very well done jail map which we always try to set up, and it was from like heavily inspired by Prison Break. So they tried to model the original prison from Prison Break, and you also had like models of the original cops and stuff. And it was like a 30 people server you could join, and that was a really cool experience because you always try to stage these uprisings and try to backstab the people who were playing the cops, and it was like a digital version of Räuber and Gendarme, basically.
The only good thing about these servers were that only people who have virtually zero skill were hosting these servers and were the jailers. So us coming from a league background, like league in terms of playing the Counter-Strike League back in the day, we were top percentile of CS players. So we get a pistol and we wipe the entire jail staff every time until they ban us from the server. And just hearing those, you can hear the voices crack, and they're like, "Why aren't you following my rules?" And while you were killing them all, good times. I miss that. But yeah,
playing the inmates was always the most fun thing. Staging the uprising.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, never listening to a single command, and you have your entire squad join, so 10 people immediately bunny hop away with perfect bunny hopping, with uncapped speed, and they can get maximum, even with good aim, they can get maximum 2 or 3 from the 10, and then they die.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Good times. All right, that's the end of the episode. Thank you for listening. We don't have to tell you about our socials, you're our patrons. So you know everything. You
already found your way here, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you haven't found your way onto the Discord. If you haven't, please do so, because you can come in, ask questions, rant with us. I mean, this is the more personal side of the podcast, right? We are a little more ranty here, a little more open, a little less edited. So you can
a little less public. It's our cool private club of
Idiots Corner.
Special individuals.
Yeah, our little pub, our little tavern. That's how it is. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a patron. Thank you for being here with us, hanging out. And bye.
Bye.